Hello and welcome to Anna's Virtual Yoga Studio. The following segment is designed to strengthen your spinal column, your deep core, and your sense of balance. Join me for the Spinal Balance series. Let's begin in Child's Pose with a few breaths into the back body. On the inhalation, feel your lower back ribs expand. On the exhalation, relax. Allow your breath to deepen and to slow down. Relax the jaw and the face, and center your awareness on the sensations of the body and the breath. We will begin by moving from Child's Pose into Table Pose with the back bend, and on the exhalation, moving back into Child's Pose. To engage the core, as you move into Table Pose, zip up just the lower abdomen. On the exhale, progressively zip up more and more, all the way up to the sternum. Continue back and forth at your pace, practicing with the low-rise zip in Table Pose and the high-rise zip up in Child's Pose. Once you're ready, you can add the opposite arm and leg lift off the floor. Inhale, Table Pose, and extend opposite arm and leg. Exhale, Table and Child's. Work on moving fluidly, coordinating breath and movement together seamlessly, so that the limbs travel together. And before you extend the arm and the leg up off the floor, pull in and across in your lower abdomen to stabilize yourself as you add the balancing element. And then come into Table Pose and extend opposite arm and leg to hold. Here on the exhalation, we'll move the elbow and the knee towards each other underneath us, gently curving the spine like a corkscrew, the shoulder coming in towards the knee, and then the hip dropping down just a little bit. Do both sides here, challenging your balance by moving the limbs together. A small little twist here adds a little fun element. When you finish with both sides, rest in Child's Pose and roll your wrists, opening and closing the fists to relieve the pressure in the wrists. We don't want to leave that area too stressed for too long. After you've rested, come back into Table Pose. Next, we're going to pull laterally on the core. As you extend opposite arm and leg, move the arm and the leg side to side, like you're waving overhead, and your leg moving like a rudder behind you. Try and keep yourself as steady as possible. Use steady breathing as well. And do both sides. Notice which side is easier for you to do this on. And you can always practice a little bit extra on the side that is more challenging for you. Once you finish, again, rest in Child's Pose. Roll your wrists. The next version of the Spinal Balance is probably my favorite. Do you remember Karate Kid and wax on, wax off? Come back into Table Pose. Activate your zip up and extend opposite arm and leg. Inhale and circle the limbs around. Exhale and circle them around again. Like you're doing a wax on, wax off with the arm and the leg both. After 4 or so in one direction, switch the direction you're circling your limbs. And then switch sides. Again, notice which is easier. Inhale, circle. Exhale, circle. Inhale, circle. Exhale, circle. And then switch direction. As you maintain the steady breath, You can move slower or faster, whatever feels more challenging to you. And then again, rest in child's pose. Give your wrists a break. Balancing with the opposite arm and leg lifted is easy enough, I suppose. What about if we were to lift the same side arm and leg? Come back into table pose and extend one leg behind you. Open up the hip while looking down at your supporting thigh so that you only open as much as possible without the thigh bone leaning back. And then try adding the same side arm. Try and stack your shoulders as you have stacked your hips. And then with control, come back the way you came, reversing the process. Other side, extend the leg behind you. Look down as you open up the hip so that the thigh bone of the supporting leg doesn't lean. And then add the same side arm. Reach up to the ceiling. Balance for a moment, steady breath, and then come back the way you came. Save some energy on the return trip. And then again, rest in child's pose. Massage your wrists. You can use these variations of spinal balance to spice up your practice. You don't have to do all of them at once. To complete, inhale into table pose with the back bend. Exhale with progressive zip up back into child's pose a few times. These different versions of spinal balance are a great addition to your yoga practice or Pilates practice. And the variety here is a wonderful way to keep your practice fresh and interesting. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.